Hey guys, welcome to Cozumel, Mexico. In today's video, we're exploring one of those things I hate, scams. And today we're gonna go over the top 10 common scams that we have seen and that other users have reported here in Cozumel so that you know what to expect, you can protect yourselves and have the best possible vacation. So let's jump into the top 10 scams in Cozumel, Mexico right now. Guys, timeshare presentations are always a scam. Just know that ahead of time. However, here they're extra pushy, and one Reddit user even mentioned that they were scammed into believing that they could put it on a credit card, open a credit card here in Mexico, and they paid for it on a credit card, and then they were told you don't even have to make the payments when you go home because this is another country and it can't affect your credit. What ended up happening, they were screwed by the company, their credit was tanked, all because they believed the lie. Just know timeshare salesmen are always liars. They will say whatever it takes to sell you a timeshare. Guys, please don't open a credit card here in Mexico for a timeshare because the salesman told you it won't affect your credit. It obviously will. You guys are smarter than that. Don't get scammed at a timeshare presentation. Better than that, don't go to a timeshare presentation. Another scam I want you guys to be aware of is taxi scams. So when you're here, you may get quoted one price to take you somewhere like Playa Mia Beach. However, if you haven't pre-negotiated a price to come back with a taxi driver, a lot of times you end up being stuck there and they're gonna charge you more to come back, sometimes as much as double or triple. So make sure you know what you're getting before you get into a taxi. We've also had clients that have been quoted back here a certain price at the taxi hut, and when they get to the taxi, get in the cab, they find out that the price is actually different than what they were told before. So make sure before you ever get into a taxi that you know exactly what you're spending, where you're going, and how much it's going to be there and how much it'll be to come back, guys. Another popular scam we see, guys, is ATM skimmers. So what we want you to know is you can bring cash before you come here so you don't have to get skimmed at an ATM here in Cozumel. Not that this couldn't happen in the United States, but just be cognizant of it. You can bring your own cash. Another problem you're gonna have is gonna be transaction fees here, as foreign transaction fees. Because you're in another country using an ATM, your bank is likely to charge you more. And this bank that is providing you the cash will also charge you a fee, and it's gonna be higher than it would if you would have just brought some cash with you. So this is a very easy way to get scammed, from their banks charging you $5, $6, $7 per transaction, or by getting your card skimmed somewhere at an unsecure ATM. Another thing I want you guys to consider is something called Mayan dollars. Now, we've had several users report that they've been offered prices in Mayan dollars. That is a fake currency they make up to be able to give you any price that they want. For example, they may say, hey, this only costs 2 Mayan dollars. And then you go, okay, cool, I'm gonna take that. And you get to the counter, and now this thing is actually like 37 US dollars when they charge it on your card, or 50, 100 US dollars when they charge it on your card. Mayan dollars is a fake number. So make sure if you're negotiating with a vendor that you know exactly what you're getting charged. So I would ask for a price in pesos or in your home currency that you're planning on paying on. That way you know exactly what you're spending when you're doing it. Speaking of money issues here, another thing that's very common is exchange rates, guys. And I'm not just talking about what your dollar is worth here. What I'm talking about is if you're not exactly sure what the exchange rate is, if you're paying in US dollars or in euros and you don't know the exact conversion to pesos, you may not get back what you're due, or they may just give you a random number of pesos that you're stuck with and now have to reconvert or re-exchange into your home currency, which is super taxing. On our 5 scams in Costa Maya video, our Miranda Gonzalez mentioned that when she was here in Cozumel, they actually ended up taking her for a ride, or at least trying to, where she paid with a $20 bill, and then the cashier ended up only giving her change for a 10. And then when she complained about it, she said, no, you gave me a 10, not a 20. And it got so heated in the debate, she was like, I'm gonna call the cops. Forget it, I'll call the cops. And that ended up solving it. Now remember, a lot of these port merchants don't want trouble with the police. That's why they pay to be here, to be able to sell to you. So if you do feel like something shady is happening or you're being taken for a ride, make sure that you contact the police because they want the tourism here. So if you're concerned about it, you think something shady is going on, you think a vendor is not being honest with you, call the cops. Guys, another big one and this is kind of scary, is police corruption. And what I mean by that is that police will pull tourist drivers over here and they will try to extort or have you bribe them to get out of going to jail here in Mexico, even for very minor traffic infractions. So the way you can protect yourself is be armed with knowledge. So Mexico has Article 241, and if one of these police officers ends up pulling you over, you can point out Article 241 to these guys, and Article 241 gives you the ability as a tourist driver to have a courtesy warning twice. So you can get a warning up to twice per person or twice per vehicle. So just know if you're driving, you get pulled over and you're worried that you're gonna have to get extorted or go to jail for a minor traffic infraction, mention Article 241 and say that you would like your courtesy warning so you don't get scammed or extorted. So another common scam that we see here in Mexico is going to be jewelry stores. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3 all around us right now. So one user said on Reddit that they actually bought 14 karat gold jewelry. And what they ended up finding out was that when they turned it over, it was stamped 925, which we know to be sterling silver. So it wasn't actually 14 karat gold. It was just plated in 14 karat gold, even though they sold it to them that way. Another common thing we see is fake stones and fake metals. So there was actually a user on Reddit talking about engagement rings. They came here to buy an engagement ring for their fiance or soon to be fiance. What they found was when they took it home and had it cleaned and inspected, they ended up finding out that the stones actually ended up being fakes. They were knockoffs. And the metal wasn't pure gold. It actually started turning her finger green. So be very careful and make sure when you are going to a jewelry store that you actually know what you're getting and you have a way to verify what you're getting, because the prices here sometimes may seem too good to be true, and that means they probably are. So let's keep moving. Another common thing we run into is alcohol, guys. Not necessarily bottled alcohol like you're gonna find on the shelf that's sealed, but alcohol at bars. So what a lot of Reddit users, a lot of our clients have found is that if you're not actually an alcohol expert or a connoisseur, you're probably not getting what you're ordering, especially at bars where they're able to water down. So there's a lot of low proof, watered down alcohol to simulate something else. A lot of times you think you're in Mexico, so I'm gonna get some good tequila here, but it's very cheap, low proof alcohol, just made to get you drunk. And it's not actually tequila, but you're paying a higher price because you think you're getting a nice tequila here. So alcohol sales is definitely something to be aware of, especially if you're at a bar. Now, if you're buying alcohol in a bottle sealed at a store, no problem, keep moving. But we want you to be smart and don't waste money on something. And if you think you're not getting what you ordered, then let the bartender know and get a different drink. Another scam that we also covered in Costa Maya is the menu bait and switch. One of our commenters mentioned that they were at Se Busca restaurant, not necessarily this one, but Se Busca restaurant. They went and they ordered chips and salsa and a steak. When they got their bill, it was over $140 US for chips and salsa and a steak. So like we mentioned in our Costa Maya video, we have two major recommendations for you guys. The first one is if you do get a menu, hold on to that initial menu so they can't switch prices on you. You get an initial menu with a certain price, they take it away, they bring the bill. When you complain about it, they bring you a different menu that looks the same with inflated pricing. Keep your initial menu, or you could take a picture of the menu so that you have proof that that is the price that you agreed to pay for what you've ordered. Please don't order off a menu that has no prices, as they could charge you $100 for chips and salsa instead of $140 for chips and salsa and a steak. Guys, be smart. This is another common scam that we've seen in multiple ports. The very last scam I want to cover is not technically a scam, but it's the government extorting us for more money. There was already a $5 per person fee. Now they've added a $42 fee starting January 1st of 2026. So it's going to be up to $50 a person to visit a Mexico port. For a family of 4, that's an extra $200 added to your visit, guys. That does really suck, and that is pushing a lot of people away from itineraries coming to Mexico. So be aware of that when you're planning your next cruise, that this could be an incurred cost that you weren't expecting. Guys, I really hope that this video, the top 10 scams in Cozumel, was helpful for you. If it was, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps us out. You can also consider using the QR code here or the link in the description below to have Amy book the perfect cruise on the perfect itinerary for you. And as always, consider watching some more of our great cruising content, and we'll see you guys on the next one.